cooking my grandfather a meal, and he's like, "You could have been a chef," And I remember telling him, "You know what? I could have done anything I wanted." And recently, just thinking back, you know what? I could have done anything I wanted. And the thing is, you know what? I did. I did exactly what I flew in helicopters. I worked in Yosemite. I drove all over the country. I worked, I mean, there was a point when I was working in Yosemite when I was working in the forestry crew in the sign shop, and I was thinking, if I was the richest man in the world, I would pay to do this job. I would give millions of dollars to work 3 months in the sign shop and take 3 months off, then work 3 months in the forestry crew, and then take 3 months and do it all over again, which is what I was doing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
like, oh, this is because I'd had access to the park and to tools and to vehicles that you couldn't pay to do. It was just like I was doing things that regular tourists couldn't do, and it was just like it was so fun and so creative, and that it was like this was heaven. And I was just like so happy that I couldn't imagine having any other more pleasing life than what I was actually doing.
What do you think it was that got you out? Because the way we grew up in this small world. We weren't well traveled whatsoever. I mean, our world was really, really small. But I do remember you always taking off on your bike, taking the bus, exploring, getting the heck out of there. So how did you end up in Yosemite area?
Well, there's a couple of things. A couple of things was that I was afraid to be home because I was gonna get beat if I was at home, and the other thing was we always got taken on really nice vacations, so I got to see what it was like to go camping, and we got taken to Yosemite, and that was a big factor because when I had some time off when I was in the fire department. We used to get those 6 days off every 3 weeks, and I was like, what should I do on one of my 6 days off? I was like, oh yeah, I should go to Yosemite. And when I got there, I was like, oh man, this is amazing. I got to live here. So that, and then when I was young, I was there was always something in me saying just apply for everything. Something told me I had to just. I don't know if it was like get out or whatever, but like there was, because being from East LA and being a brown kid, there was like a lot of opportunities, and so I was like, I would just think, well, I'm just going to apply for every single thing. So, I applied for the YCC, I applied for Upward Bound, I applied for, I don't know, if there was an application, I filled it out. I guess not thinking. About it, just doing it, and I got all kinds of, I had all kinds of opportunities offered to me, and that was always. I mean, I did ROP, I did CETA. I mean, I did all kinds of initials, and so I mean, I don't know. I was just always someone who just wasn't afraid to try something new. If there's someone wanted to volunteer, I always raised my hand, looking for adventure.
That's cool. And people have different ideas of success and what it means to have it, what it is. So, some people are caught up in material things. Some people are.
Yeah, and isn't money a lousy way to keep score?
Well, money's just paper, and also money's just like a way to get things that you want, So I've kind of just like bypass that thing and just go after the things that I want.
Right.
I've been doing that a lot lately. It's like I don't worry about the money part. I just try and get the things I want. And
I think people are disillusioned, thinking, well, if I have money and I can buy these things, then I'll be happy.
Right, and a lot of people they try and fill their lives by buying stuff. And they get some kind of high buying stuff, and then they just find that their life is cluttered with stuff. And that brings its own problems, And I recently had to go through like a period in my life where I had to get rid of a lot of stuff, And
Purge.
Yeah, that was a whole thing too, Where it's like I had to like dematerialize myself of a lot of my stuff, And I had a lot of stuff because I have a big piece of land and I used to collect stuff, you know.
Didn't you have every car you ever owned?
Not even.
It
No,
seems like you did.
I've had like at least 50 cars. So.
Oh, when did you turn hick?
So no, I didn't have every car owned, but I had.
No, that's right. You started letting them drag them away.
I did. Yeah, I
was
made some
there.
money off of the
I
cars.
was there when
I
they
had.
were dragging them away.
Yeah. So, but see, because I always knew that I was going to get some money from them. And that's why I kept them, and I was right, and I needed that money. So I mean, that was there was a point to my madness, and that money came in handy. So now the only cars I have left is cars that I'm gonna use and that have some value. It's like there's an engine in that one, and there's a transmission in that one.
Right. And you would use your yard as a pick apart, right?
Yeah, that works. It's like I have a 1989 Subaru, because I have another one that take parts off of it. Well, it works.
So.
Wow, I'm looking at this stuff, I'm sorry to. But they have all kinds of stuff. Hitler comments on Double Rainbow. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I hate that one.
I've never even heard of it. Double Rainbow, the movie video. You talking about it, where it knocked you down. Kermit the Frog singing about it.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Is that a good one?
Yeah. You know what really hit me the other day is the Is Rainbow.
Yeah.
Boy, that one really knocked me down. So someone sent me I don't know if I told you this or not, but someone sent me an email saying that their name was Bear too, and that they took a video of a rainbow on the 101, and it was really nice. It was like, oh, that's a pretty. I mean, it was in the freeway there in a car, but
right.
It was really bright and vivid. And when it ended, there was a link to the Is video, and it looked like me when I was at my heaviest, and Callie said, "Oh, this is really nice," and I had never watched it, because it reminded me when I was like at my heaviest, and
you weren't ready to see it.
Yeah, I wasn't, and she clicked on it, and it was that guy. It was Is singing that song, and it looked like me when I was at my heaviest, and it was full of rainbow images. And then she told me that he died of obesity.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I didn't, I beat that, and I lost like 175 pounds, and I was like, why did I survive? How come I beat that and he didn't? And like all these rainbow images, it was like, man, it hit me really hard, it's like, what's going on? And I was just like crying really hard, because I'm here. And then that song ended, and then the phone rang, and it was like my daughter's friend's mom, and she said, claim what God has given you. Right at the end of that. And it was really powerful.
Wow.
It did. That video does look like what Paul looked like at his worst.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I don't.
He's a really big guy, and yeah, he died really young from carrying all that weight.
It does a lot to you. It kills you. I mean, even as heavy as I am.
I remember having conversations with you, and I pleaded with you, Paul, and you said, I'm so strong, I can beat anything, but I can't beat this. This is stronger than me. It's beyond me. What do you think? What would you say that it was that turned you around?
It was my duty to my kids to stay alive.
So.
And then I had to trick myself and get into cage fighting because if I was gonna fight, I was gonna fight for my life, and I had to fight for real. And then if I had to train, and if I was gonna train, if I didn't train hard, someone was gonna kick my ass. So it was like, man, I got to train hard, or I'm gonna get beat up.
So you came up with a reason to a distraction to start exercising and eating differently and.
Right, and I had these couch surfers come, and they just gave themselves to me. They showed me how to eat differently. They were really magic angels.
Are you talking about Tilo and Sanda? Yeah, they ended up